Well, I'm here with you to share ultimately giving a sense for what we can accomplish in the future going forward. Now, I have a fantastic product, a fantastic method to share with you. And we're here really to go over some stories that I've heard from people who've used price momentum to give themselves an advantage in the market. All right, so let's go ahead and I want to go ahead and take a preview of what we're about to cover today. Now, here's what we're going to experience. We're going to experience a solution to all of the problems that you see listed here. Now, I've been with Chaikin Analytics for a full year now, and I'm focused entirely on the success of our subscribers, right? So what that requires me to do, what I enjoy doing is keeping a sense for, keeping my ear to the ground. What are the challenges that a lot of our subscribers are encountering? And I want to know if you encounter these yourself. So just like Reed mentioned, go ahead and type in the word yes if, as an investor, you struggle with what I like to call information overload, right? Where there are so many different sources of information. There's resources online, on Twitter, on CNBC, on Bloomberg, Wall Street Journal, periodicals, you name it. There's so much content coming at you from so many different directions. So go ahead and chat in the word yes if you experience the challenge of information overload. Now, let's say, in addition to this, as an investor, you're ready to get into the market, right? Maybe you're trading options. Maybe you're on a swing trading time frame. Maybe you're managing longer-term positions. Go ahead and chat in the word yes again if you experience the challenge of not knowing where to start with what stock to trade, right? So stock selection, finding the right ones that deserve your attention. All right, so go ahead and chat in yes. And then, of course, go in capital letters. If you're saying yes to all three of these, tell me if timing, right? Finding the right point to enter and exit a position. Tell me if this is a challenge that you encounter. Now, what I have for you today is a solution, right? I'm going to make an offer to you throughout this presentation to try Chaikin Analytics as a solution. I want you to picture yourselves as a solution, as an investor who's using Chaikin Analytics. So let me tell you a little bit about myself, not because I like to talk about myself, but rather I want you to have a sense for my story and how I came about to use Chaikin Analytics as a solution for the challenges I faced. Now, again, you know by now I'm our Director of Client Success here with Chaikin Analytics. I've consulted with thousands of our subscribers, right? Some subscribers have been with us since day one. Others have joined us throughout the year. We've made a lot of changes to our program I'm about to share with you today. Now, at the end of the day, I'm a coach for our subscribers. Making people successful is my job. And if you don't believe me, just read my job description, Director of Client Success. It's in my title, and I'm very proud of that. Now, my background, I started my career over at the Vanguard Group. Now, if you're familiar with Vanguard, you know their philosophy is long-term, buy and hold, and not just stocks, but rather simply a focus on mutual funds, right? I was told, right, I was made to believe that you cannot have success trading individual stocks and, God forbid, even options, right? Now, I'm here to share with you, again, we have a solution for your strategy of trading individual stocks as well as options. And not only that, how do we define success? Well, certainly, all of us could go right back to Vanguard, and we can, or any kind of longer term, not to single out Vanguard. It's a fantastic company. But anyone, we could go back and we could index it with passive investments, and we can go ahead and find other hobbies, right, or other jobs. Well, we're here not just to outperform the average, but we're here to really find the best of the best out there. So what we're going to talk about today, what we're going to review, we're going to talk about timing. We're going to help you find the right point, the right time to be entering and exiting your positions. Now, I'm going to have an emphasis on swing trading here, and how I define that is anywhere from about 1 week to about 3 weeks is throughout the duration of your trade. So in other words, I'll open a position, I'll keep it open for at the minimum of 1 week, and I'll look to close it at a maximum of about 3 weeks. All right. Now, we'll also drive into results and consistent methods, right? So in other words, we don't want you to just have a few successful trades with Chaikin. We don't want Chaikin Analytics to just be an opportunity to find a couple of hot stocks, right? Rather, we're going to share with you today a methodology, a strategy for having consistency, consistent returns, right? And we're going to find just how easy and simple this methodology is, right? I'm about to jump in this right now. And then, of course, when we talk about stock selection and information overload, what we need to do is narrow down our stock universe, right? Find the right candidates for you. This might sound like a lot of work, But I want to let you know that this is a very simple, a very easy methodology, a very simple program. All of the heavy lifting has been already done for you. It's just a matter of taking advantage of all of that work that's done. Now, here are the factors that we like to use within Chaikin, and you'll see I have just 4 bullet points. Now, if I was to ask you right now, right, if your list of criteria that you evaluate, right, if it exceeds more than 4 bullet points, go ahead and type in yes again, all right? What you're going to find here is I'm going to focus on our power gauge rating. I'm about to share this with you. An overall rating for a stock, bullish, neutral, or bearish. Now, if I'm bullish on the market, I want a bullish stock, right? Makes sense. I'll also want relative stock performing versus the broader market. Remember, that's tied in directly to our key goal. We want to outperform the market. So I want to see how that stock has been performing versus the broader market. I'll also look for institutional money using Chaikin Money Flow. We've all used Chaikin Money Flow before. Of course, Mark Chaikin, our founder. Mark Chaikin is the one who developed that formula that we use to track institutional behavior. All right. So we'll go ahead and tie all of these factors together. And keep in mind, Chaikin Analytics, we're going to bring to your attention a specific trend in any one of these factors using one of our buy or sell signals. So all of this will make very easy to consolidate and ultimately understand at the blink of an eye. Now, the bread and butter of what we deliver is our power gauge rating. That neutral, that bullish, that bearish rating that I referenced, it's comprised of 20 factors. Again, when I mentioned that we do the heavy lifting, here it is. Imagine, picture yourself, ready? Imagine yourself going to, whether it's Zacks, Yahoo Finance, Wall Street Journal, or Morningstar, right? And imagine if you had the responsibility to go through every one of these 20 factors, let alone the thousands of other factors that you can use to evaluate the performance of a stock. Imagine if that was your responsibility. It's too overwhelming. And we're only talking about the evaluation of one stock. Imagine the hundreds, if not thousands of other stocks that are out there that you would need to track all of this information for. You know, it would be incredible. It would be incredible if you had to even list out all of this information, let alone having it spelled out in front of you here. So Chaikin Analytics, our power gauge rating, does this work for you. And we're going to show you how you're going to narrow your list of candidates based on stocks with this rating. So now, before we go any further, I want to convince you that this works, that this rating is accurate, right? So what we're looking at right here is our back-tested results. Now, we have a partnership with NASDAQ for what we do, and we compare the performance of a Chaikin power gauge rating of fund compared to a NASDAQ average, and all of those funds outperform with the Chaikin. Now, we also do our in-house performance, and this is what I'm here to share with you. Now, life to date, since we've had this evaluation, so pretty much since the beginning of 1999, what we do is we compare our bullish rated stocks, our neutral rated stocks, and our bearish rated stocks. And we compare their performance versus the average of the broader market. In our example here, we're using the Russell 3000. And it's pretty simple. You can see over here on the right-hand side of the page, bullish stocks, very bullish stocks, far outperforming the average. Bearish ones, very bearish, underperforming. And you've got your neutral rated stocks right about here in the middle. So if this is enough to help you gear toward what stocks are trending, are worth your attention, let me know. Go ahead and just chat in. Tell me if you're on board at this point. I do have the question windows up right now. I see a lot of yeses that have been coming through. And so what we're going to drive it into right now is ultimately, how do I focus my attention? Well, here's an example of a stock I want to share with you right now. So this is Ingram Micro, right? So this is a stock I had not heard of until right around when I bought the stock back here at this point, back at the end of September. So what I highlighted here is that you can see the arrow going right to our buy signal. Now, do I blindly make decisions based on buy and sell signals? Of course not. Now, I'm aware of the stock here. It's an oversold buy signal, so I'm referencing our what you all may understand as an RSI indication. And I'm noticing down here at the bottom, this green bar. What is this telling me? Well, this is a summary of our power gauge rating. This is telling me that the stock's been bullish for the better part of 3 months leading up to the point when I bought it. Now, as of today, keep in mind this was taken as of, this screenshot was taken as of today, we still have a bullish rating. Here's the power gauge rating at work, right? You have financials, you have technicals, you have experts. These are the 4 main categories that we track. This is the way we summarize them. And you can see how 3 out of the 4 are in bullish territory. a little bit of a concern here with earnings in the middle, but overall still a bullish rating. Now, all factors considered, I can see that the stock has been outperforming the market. I can see that institutional money flow has greatly improved since the summer, and of course, I'm in an oversold position. So all of these factors tell me that this is a great stock for me to be getting into. And notice how I have the patience to wait. Instead of buying at an overbought position, I wait for an oversold, which is exactly when Chaikin Analytics makes me aware of the stock here. So instead of buying high, I'm rather buying low. Now, we set a lot of our expectations, simple expectations based on this Wyckoff pattern. Now, I'm not sure if for Wyckoff, if you're not simply enough, what we like to do is just, instead of anticipating a bell curve, a bell-shaped curve for growth, we rather have the expectation that we know the volatility is coming. Remember, if you're swing trading, you're looking for the right point to be buying in, just like I did with Ingram Micro, and you're looking to get out as the volatility is anticipated, this reaccumulation phase. So this is the way that we coach you. Remember, I'm about to share with you a lot of the support that we provide, the coaching sessions that you get, in addition to Chaikin Analytics, the screenshot that you just saw there. Now, a lot of our methodology is based in sector evaluation. So if we see that the market is strong, I'm going to look in some of the strongest sectors and look for some strong stocks. If the market is showing itself to be a little bit bearish, kind of like it has been over the past few days, I'm going to look at some weaker sectors and we'll look for some weaker stocks. In this case, here's an example for the S&P 500 today. This is me using Chaikin Analytics here to evaluate the broader market. So what you'll see is our panel view. This is a really nice summary for all of the 9 sectors plus the S&P 500 that we track. And notice how they're all listed here in red, or in pink, I guess you would say. They're all stocks that are down, or sectors that are down for the day. So in other words, each of the sectors are looking pretty bearish. And if I look over here at my summary, you can see each of those same sectors listed. So we knew that the market was leading into a bearish trend. And so what I did was I went ahead and I pulled up the energy sector. Now, we all know the energy sector has been making waves for over a year now, right? Now, what we'd like to use, here's our long-term trend. We use a 200-day average here. And you can see how the price for energy using the energy sector has been well below the long-term average. Well, when I consider my relative strength here, how is the stock performing, or how is this ETF performing versus the broader market? I can see that I have a red or orange indication telling me that it's been underperforming the average. So if you're an options trader, you should be salivating over this opportunity here. You can see clearly you have the confidence that the sector continues to underperform. Institutions tried to pump up the value of the overall sector, and yet it's back down to negative territory. So what are the opportunities I can look for? Here's Kinder Morgan, right? So Kinder Morgan, again, look down here at the bottom. You can see the rating that it's had since the very beginning of May. Notice how it's been bearish every day in Chaikin Analytics since that May timeframe. What we like to describe here is a personality change where a stock is outperforming the market and then going back down to underperforming, right? So these technical factors, as simple as they are, you can see just how easy it is to anticipate whether a stock's ready to continue to break down, or if it could be ready for a bit of an attempted pullback, I guess you could say. So the key thing here is timing. Now, timing and using these technical factors is too much information for all of us to go over for today. But I'm hoping that you can see right now, just in the brief explanations I'm providing here, that you can use our technical factors to time your entry or your exit when you want to open your position, whether you're shorting it, maybe you're buying a bearish stock, or specifically if you're looking to simply enough just qualify a stock. More of this to come when we pull up our screener. Speaking of which, so I mentioned earlier in our presentation that we've made a number of changes to Chaikin Analytics. Now, our whole program, again, we keep everything centered around our overall bullish or overall bearish ratings. Now, what if you had the ability to drill down based on some of the technical factors I just shared with you? After all, I've showed you a few stocks already, but I haven't shared with you quite yet how I found them. Now, the key thing that I want to tell you about today is, look, I'm not just here to hope that you join Chaikin Analytics, but rather I'm here to share with you secrets of the market, secrets for specific trends in specific sectors, right? And the screener helps drill out, helps bring out some of those trends. See just how successful you can be with this. So let's go ahead and jump right into Chaikin Analytics. I'm going to take a moment right now and switch over. Bear with me for just a moment. And I believe you're able to see my Chaikin Analytics platform right now. If you're not able to, just go ahead and chat in. I'm going to make the assumption that you're able to see my screen. I use GoToMeeting pretty frequently, GoToWebinar, so I'm pretty confident this is all working out for us. Let me see, I'm just going to check the chat window real quick. Awesome. Very cool. I see someone chatted in here. I bought Ingram Micro because of Chaikin Analytics. Thank you very much, James. Great to hear that. Awesome. So let's go ahead and dive in. Now, what I want to share with you here is a list that I ran on Thursday. All right, so you can see about 10 stocks that came out of my results from using the screener, right? Now, FireEye is a stock that's been struggling. And you can see how we had our overbought sell signal coming in right down here. The stock's rebounding back up to 21 today, which is fine. But overall, you can see how we've been significantly bearish on the stock. It's been underperforming its relative strength. Money flow is overwhelmingly negative, and you have your overbought position not too long ago. Now, I'm going to go right back to my panel view. And you can see how most of the stocks here, let's see, pretty much a little bit over half are currently down. I know it looks like we had a bit of a rally, but at one point today you were looking at pretty much 7 out of these 9 stocks down for just today. Now, one of those stocks right now that's currently up, take a look at BLUE, right? So Bluebird. This is a stock that was down as much as 37% yesterday. Take a look at the effectiveness of our sell signals, right? Now again, we're bringing to your attention specific trends in a stock, all right? So you can see that it takes a little bit of time before the stock eventually breaks down, but you do have the movement here, all confirmed by your overall bearish power gauge rating down here at the bottom. Underperforming the market, poor money flow, and you've got your overbought position not too long ago. You're opening up this trade toward the end of last week. Maybe you're buying a put, maybe you're using a vertical or any kind of sharp move, and you're seeing how the stock eventually plummets. It's gone from close to about 100 back probably around the beginning of last week, and it was down as much yesterday as, when I look at my range here, it was down to the low of 50. So how do you find a trade like this, right? Let's go ahead and take a look at our screener here. So again, this is a screener that we just previewed, and this is a fantastic way to get ahead of the market. Right. So what's the content? What is the criteria that I used? Again, I've got a pretty bearish outlook on the market over the next couple of weeks. So for short term, for swing trading, maybe you're even trading your opening and closing positions in less than 1 week, right? How do I shift myself to the right portion of the market? Well, what I'll use is I'm going to go ahead and start with my global filter. You can see I use $10 for price, liquidity 250,000, and of course market cap of $1 billion. And I like to use the Russell 3000 as my starting case. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch my power gauge rating, and I'm going to reference bearish stocks here. And I'm going to drill all the way down here because remember, not only do I want a bearish stock, but I want a stock that's below my long-term trend. Now I could stop right here and hit screen, right? And I'll probably get close to 100, 150 stocks that are bearish and below the long-term trend and are part of the Russell 3000. But what if I really want to drill down specifically? All right. What I'll do is I'll come down to my signals. I could look for any stock with a sell signal, but my favorite here is my overbought sell. And I'll look for any one of those stocks that have triggered a sell signal over the past week. And you can see my results here, 20. Now let's go ahead and take a look at some of these results here. So this will be my bearish list. I like to give it a date so I can reference these. And when I hit continue, I'm going to go right back to my panel view. And let's take a look here. So you can see the majority of these stocks all down for today. Any one of these, again, over the past week triggered one of our sell signals. And you can see how the overwhelming majority right here today is down, are all down. Here's one in particular, Whole Foods. If this isn't your first Chaikin Analytics webinar, you know what we focused on before. We use Whole Foods a lot. This is a stock that we're constantly coming back to for bearish trades that we can place and profit from. Now, why did I find Whole Foods here? Well, obviously it's been really underperforming the market. It's had a terrible 2015, losing about half its value. All the while, the power gauge rating is right there to support your cause, right? So what if technicals are in good shape, right? How do we balance all this? Remember the heavy lifting that's being done for us. How do I balance strong technicals with weak financials, weak earnings, weak experts, right? Your result here is a bearish power gauge rating. How do I know when I should be paying attention to this stock? How do I know when I should be shorting it? Let the signals do the work for you. Again, you can access all of that right within the screener here. Chaikin money flow. You can send, even though institutions are starting to put some money into the stock, you can see how it's been essentially in an overbought position, not too long ago, now in another overbought, and ultimately relative strength here, just consistently underperforming the market. This is the type of stock that you want to be focusing your attention on. Remember those problems that I told you earlier, right from the beginning, that I told you we'd provide solutions for. Information overload. Well, all we did within our screener, we entered 1, 2, 3 sets of criteria. A bearish stock, below long-term, overbought signal. It's pretty simple, right? Think about also when I look for, let me go back to my workspace. Essentially, my stock selection. Well, I've got 20 of them right here at my disposal right now. The overwhelming majority of them down for today. Even take a look at the market, down about 0.5%. Well, you've got FOE along with all of the rest of these down more than 0.5%. Sure, you've got a few that are up for the day, that's fine. But overall, what's the majority here? The overwhelming majority, again, are going with the trend that you expected. Now, how about if you're an earnings trader? Tell me if you do trade earnings. Let's see, let me take a look here. John, I want to answer your question. Wait to see what your screener was initially. Yeah, absolutely. Here's my screener. So if you want to take down the content that I'm focusing on, these are the trends. And remember, how do we get answers? How do we get content that I really want to focus on? Simply enough, remember, we do provide plenty of training sessions for all of our subscribers. I host coaching sessions, group coaching sessions every afternoon at 2 o'clock Eastern. I do also take one-on-one sessions as well as options sessions, which we haven't even dug into, as well as, of course, our pre-market assessment. So that all falls under my roof, the ability to realize these different factors and set your orientation. Should I be looking for bullish trades or should I be looking for bearish ones? So now, if you are interested in trading options, which I'm sure many of you are, let me go ahead and take a quick look here at Whole Foods. So this is an example that I used earlier today. And again, keep in mind, this is a stock that's been underperforming the market. It's got plenty of bearish trends. It's just about creeping into an overbought position. So we have the right stock that I want to be trading, right? The question is now, what's the best way I can maximize my returns? How can I get the best kind of return from my trade? So when you take a look, what we've done, we partnered with this company called Options Play. Fantastic partners, fantastic stock analysis. And we give you 3 side-by-side comparisons here. So what would my outlook be if I sold 100 shares? What would it look like if I were just buy a put? What if there's a more beneficial strategy out there for me, like a vertical, right? This is the kind of ability to maximize your trade, to consolidate this information and make it easy for you. If you're trading options, imagine how much, if you're not using any kind of support, right, just using the basic information that's out there, right, think about how much information we're consolidating for you. Options Play clearly here, I'm sure you're all drawing your attention, gives you a recommended score for a specific trade. What I can do, I can simply jump ahead and I can see what exactly the trade consists of. What are the legs that I need to enter? And you can see exactly the instructions available for you. What if I'm interested in a sharper move trade? What if I wanted to, if I don't have any interest in trading this put? Well, you can go right to our strategy constructor. You can choose any number of bearish trends here, or bearish strategies that you can utilize. Maybe a diagonal is the right trade for you. It looks like Options Play would disagree. What if I wanted something more of a sharper move? Maybe a butterfly, a condor, anything along those lines, right? All of these, as you can see, whether it's a good idea or not, you can apply right here. So obviously this information is available to you not just from a bearish sense, but a bullish one as well if you're looking at bullish stocks. But certainly you're thinking bearishly in a bearish market, on a bearish stock, on a bearish strategy. So all of this, again, right here is a lot of the work that's being done for you, and you can see just how easy it is to break this down. So let's also talk about the example here if you were trading earnings. Tell me if any of you trade earnings. Go ahead and chat in real quick. Just type in the word yes. I want to share with you some specifics. Let's see, I see somebody just chat in saying, I don't trade on earnings, but I would like to, which is very cool. Let's see, I'm seeing a couple more yeses coming through. So let's go ahead and take a look here. I'm going to go ahead and reset my screener. Now, I had a few one-on-one sessions last week where I had some new subscribers saying, hey, look, I'm using Chaikin Analytics, and what I've been doing is I've been using a few different indicators, and I see some of these stocks are reporting earnings, but help me out in terms of, what about my timing, right? How do I know if a stock is going to be reporting earnings on a certain date, and what the specific trend of the overall stock is? Well, you could come right here to Chaikin Hot Lists. We have a whole customized list just for earnings here. Earnings hot list, whether any stocks that have had any bullish estimate revisions or an earnings surprise or bearish. And you can also see stocks that are reporting earnings in the coming week. I know we're just past earnings season, so there's not a whole lot reporting, but what if I wanted to see a customized, a really drilled, a specific list that I can use? So what I'll do is I'm going to come right back to my screener. I reset my settings, so very nicely. And let's think bearishly first. Right now the market's bearish, right? So I'm going to look for some bearish stocks. And again, keep in mind the terminology I'm using is all based on a swing trading basis. And remember, one of the main categories of the power gauge rating is earnings. Now, we use some specific factors here, but I'm going to use specifically just the overall earnings category because I want a bearish stock to not only have a poor trend, but also have a weak history of earnings. So I'm consistent with the overall rating as well as the specific category that interests me. Now, you could pull up any host of stocks that are reporting earnings, but what we've done down here is we'll give you a list based on a specific week, right? I'm interested in what I can trade today, tomorrow, anything between now and Friday, right? So what I'll do is I'll come down to earnings date, and I'll pull up a list here within the next week. So of course this week is what it's referencing. And all I have to do from here is hit screen. And as easy as it ever has been, one stock for us to evaluate. Let's go ahead and take a look at this, WMS. I'm going to go ahead and add this right to one of the lists I created. So here's my user lists that I can modify and edit. And I'm going to go right down to my watch list for earnings. And let's go ahead and add this one here, WMS. So I'll search for this real quick, hit the plus sign. Again, simple and easy, right? Now, let's also take a look for some bullish stocks that are reporting earnings, because remember, earnings can go any direction, right? So let's take a look at our bullish stocks, and let's go for my earnings, and I want those to be strong. Right, so I want it to have a strong rating for a bullish stock when it comes specifically to earnings. And then I'll come here, look for anything reporting this week, hit screen, and I have three great little examples here. I believe Casey is one that reported today, up about 5%, not too bad, on a day when the market's down about 0.5%. So let me go ahead and add these other two here, KFY and Costco. KFY. And COST, very simple and easy, and I can do this for. And what I want to do is I want to consolidate the information, right? Let's continue to make this easy for ourselves. So let me go ahead and run here a portfolio health check. Now, portfolio health check, again, gives you a breakdown for a lot of the little details that we need to be aware of, right? So WMS, our bearish stock here, the one that reports this week, notice how last week, remember we're looking for the week of December 6th, this stock was down 11%, right? So leading into earnings. Now we're going to find out in a minute when it does report, but you can see the other ones also doing pretty well. They're bullish stocks, they're doing pretty well based on last week. I haven't seen any power gauge changes, so nothing has switched on me recently, either bullishly or bearishly. No surprises, obviously they haven't reported yet. And here's one, an estimate revision for Casey, again, one that reported well today. And here's WMS, right, a bearish estimate revision. Now, when do these report, right? WMS looks like it's reporting tomorrow. KFY, also tomorrow. And Costco, at the close of today. So here are the reports that, again, you can use to find your specific dates, specific trends, giving you a nice little breakdown here. Since WMS does report tomorrow, let's go ahead and take a quick look here out of curiosity to see how it's likely to report. You can see it's obviously done very, very poorly lately. And you've got earnings here, pretty poor, along with financials, right? Stock lately has been below its long term. Money flow has been poor, relative strength, power gauge rating. The stock itself currently right now is oversold, but again, leading into earnings, again, that's a specific type of behavior, specific type of strategy that we're using here. So I'm okay with the fact that it's oversold. So that's the best way to really take a look and see how the overall market has been performing here. If you're interested in back testing any of the strategies, again, one of the fun ways that I like to do that is simply enough when I run a screen, since the screens that I showed you today are the most common ones that I use, the most effective. I like to use, simply enough, I'd like to put a date in the ones that I screen for. So you can see FireEye, even though it's been very poor lately, I know it's up a bit today, recently had a power gauge rating change. It's been very bearish lately, right? Now, you have it turning neutral, which is fine, but again, you can see the performance of where it's headed. And we can help you understand when a power gauge rating change, how do we modify that? How do we adjust our strategy? But overall, you can see how the remainder of these have all stayed quite bearish since. So, other backtesting, remember we do have a partnership with, let me see, I'll go ahead and share this with you right now. Let me go right to my user guide. Now we have plenty of content that we use for support purposes right here through our user guide. If you want to know more about our signals, again, what exactly triggers a signal, what patterns are we following, you can see exactly the content that we're using. Now, how about our resources, right? So remember, webinars such as this one, we record all of them. Whether, again, it's an onboarding session, whether it's a support session, a one-on-one, an options-based session, we have all of these available for you along with our recordings. What I want to share with you ultimately are those performance results, as well as the partnership here that we have with NASDAQ. Again, so I mentioned before, what we've done, we partnered with them on 3 major indexes, so a large cap, small cap, dividend-based fund, and we essentially had the power gauge rating manage them. Right, so you can see how the NASDAQ performed. Here's how the NASDAQ performed with a Chaikin Analytics overlay. So in other words, focusing on our bullish and very bullish stocks. This has led us into developing our own managed fund, a UIT. We partnered with First Trust Bank. We just announced this last week, where we're actually going to be in the money management product fund. So in other words, you'll have the ability to invest in a fund that's managed entirely, or primarily, I should say, based on the power gauge rating. There's more to it than that. If you're interested, make sure to get in touch with us. But ultimately, it's a fantastic opportunity for us. What we're here to demonstrate ultimately is the ability to use that specific rating for individual stocks and really break it down and find the opportunities. So, well, like I mentioned before, I do have an offer I want to share with you guys today. Now, I mentioned before, and I'm going to mention again because it is so important, that really, just like anything else, practice makes perfect. I really do mean that. The more you use this, the more familiar you become with our program, the more effective you'll be, the more time you will save. So remember, we do host those daily coaching sessions each afternoon. We have those options-based sessions, pre-market review sessions every Tuesday and Thursday. This all helps you get a leg up and set your orientation for the broader market. If I'm swing trading, should I be looking for bullish opportunities? Should I be looking to open them? Or should I be looking to close them out and then look for a bullish opportunity, right? This is what we help you with. Now, we showed you briefly options play. We have a lot more content to go over with you, which is, again, why we have these support sessions. When you compare our screener, just like we did today, it's all information overload as a solution. Right? In other words, we have a solution to the overwhelming number of stocks. Notice today how we didn't go over Apple, we didn't go over Amazon, we didn't go over Tesla, all those household names. We don't need to, right? Because we need to find the stocks that give us the best opportunity for success, and that's exactly the core of our screener. And then, of course, it's a matter of maximizing your strategy and putting options play to work for you. So we have this available on desktop as well as iPad. It's consolidated information, very simple to consume. Now, I mentioned back testing. I mentioned results that we've done to make sure our power gauge rating is accurate, but it's very important for us, and we really do mean this, to show testimonials. And I take this to heart a lot because, again, we have investors of all experience, right? People who've been trading for a couple of months, people who have been trading for a couple of years and even decades, right? But I'm really happy when I can show Chaikin Analytics as a solution and actually see those results turn back, right? Here's one from just a couple of weeks ago, right before Thanksgiving. Mark Chaikin went on and was talking about Macy's, and one of our subscribers who was in attendance said, look, I bought Macy's, I also bought CMI, I made 100% on each one of them, right? So using the screener, I remember it specifically, we were going over the screener and finding some bearish stocks, and I remember specifically when I was going over the comments on the webinar, somebody was chatting in about Macy's. He ended up getting in touch with us and gave us the details and said, hey, look, these are just 2 trades this week alone that have over 100% return. Here's one that I got just over the weekend. So this is pretty cool, especially see this on the weekend. If you're looking for a detailed one, this is from a new subscriber. Again, I blacked out his information here, but go ahead and read through. This is again a screenshot I took right from my inbox. He joined us back in November, as you can see, and he said, "Hey, look, I made $714 on my first put option yesterday." And he told me, he's like, "I only purchased one. If I wasn't so nervous, think about the anxiety, right? We all go through this, the uncertainty of a trade, right? I would have instead put on 10 and given me essentially $7,000 return, right? From a $5,200 investment, right? So I love what he says right here. Thanks for giving me the confidence, right? Confidence I never had in options trading. Thank God for Chaikin Analytics here. Yeah, I love how you said this too here. So I wonder how people miss a tool this accurate and how it is that you give this out for free. Now, obviously, we don't give it out for free or anything, but the cost of a subscription here, nothing compared to the ROI. Again, we fully believe that. This is a gentleman who joined us literally less than a month ago. Now, a few more that we've had before. Again, think about the benefits, right? It's great that we can all make money in the market, but what does that money go to, right? Think about really the kind of rewards that we reap from this. So here's a subscriber who emailed us back over the summer telling, hey, look, I followed your Amazon trade. And this was a stock of the week pick from Mark, right? Awesome trade. Profit covered next year's total cost of our 2 months in Hawaii after taxes. And that's what we want you to focus on, right? Remember, you're not just here to make money. This isn't just a numbers game. It is, but what are the results of those numbers, right? Think about the vacations. Think about maybe if you have a mortgage to pay off, right? Maybe you have kids who are going to college, right? If you're going to be contributing to their college fund, right? Maybe even it's your own retirement. I mean, that's why we love this testimonial in particular, right? Because it's not just, hey, look, I made a lot of money and I feel great about myself, but hey, look, I made a lot of money and I'm seeing it impact my life. We're about a 2-month trip to Hawaii, right? I would love to be able to do that someday. Here's another one. Made 10 times a return in just 5 days. Using Chaikin Analytics for 5 days, pay for the subscription tenfold, right? Initial results are nothing short of astounding. Now, here's the thing. The key thing that we measure success isn't just 1 or 2 or 3 trades, but remember, our whole support program is to help you get consistent results. All right, this is exactly what we want to see. So again, financial freedom fast track, right? All of the ease and the simplicity. Again, I hope you were able to. I hope you agree. You were able to see this today. Go ahead and chat in. Just go ahead and type in yes if you see my point here about Chaikin Analytics being a simple and easy tool to be able to use to analyze the market, specific stock trends, and different sectors of the market. Right. Now, some of the more common feedback that we get, the way that we like to think about this again, reliability. Financial freedom and confidence. We just saw an example from my email a few minutes ago. Confidence in the trade, right? Easy to understand regardless of your experience, right? We want to help save you time. Whether I'm sure some of you may be spending, all day trading. That's great. I know a lot of people just enjoy trading, enjoy investing. I've spoken with a number of subscribers who tell me, hey, look, I'm retired full time, and I'm doing fine with money, but I just enjoy doing this. If that's the position you're in, check us out. Give us a try. You've seen the back test of results. You've seen the testimonials. And make it easy for yourself. The only thing better than really succeeding in something is really when it's significantly challenging, right? And investing is challenging. It is difficult. But think about how much work we're doing for you. The great thing, again, the heavy lifting is done. It's a done-for-you system. So again, pair up our screener as well as options play, and consider the value that you're getting here, right? Now, our product retails typically for $19.50. We've also integrated options play, so that's another $240. Power Suite included in Chaikin Analytics, another $500. Rapid results, right? So coaching calls. Remember, those small group sessions, we don't charge you. When you join Chaikin Analytics, that's part of your subscription. That would normally be a $200 cost. One-on-one sessions, right? Again, I'm available for one-on-one sessions. It's another $600. That's a lot of valuable time that you're getting back. And then, of course, our online forums, our open forum sessions that we do host, another $2,400. So in total, we value this for close to $6,000. And again, normally we do offer this on retail for about $19.50, right? Now, my offer for you, instead of the total retail value of close to $6,000, instead of $19.50, instead what we're offering you is a quick bonus here for $17.50, right? This offer is valid until the weekend, right? So again, think about how much in value you're getting and the offer that we're making to you, right? Now, all things considered, consider also, right? Again, I mentioned those one-on-one sessions. You can email me as well. Our screener that we just added, right? Morning and market insights, right, from John Schlitz as well as Mark Chaikin, right? Another $1,800 in value from all three of these. So on top of the value that I've already shared with you, you can see $7,600 here. Now, there's only one way I can make this better, is that instead of $17.50, we're going to do $16.50 if you give us a call before midnight tonight. This is a one-time fee for an annual subscription, so just one-time payment, $16.50, and that's the return you'll be getting here. So give us a call back. We'd love to have you join the group. Again, that offer does expire tonight for $16.50, and join us. Be a part of this here. This is all available at your disposal. We want you to be a part of this. We want you to be the next testimonial too. So I want to go ahead and thank you guys for your time. Thank you for attending. Reed, thank you as well for inviting us over. It's always great to be a part of your group here. I know there's a lot of questions, unfortunately, that I may not have answered, but make sure to get in touch with us. If you're looking for our contact info, it's available down here at the bottom. We're going to be here in our new office for tonight till probably about 7 o'clock. Mark Chaikin's going to be presenting a demonstration today. But give us a call. We're available for you right now, 877-697-6783. Or just go right to chaikinanalytics.com/Joe. So again, guys, thank you all very much for your time. Best of luck to you. I'm looking forward to having you on my next subscriber session tomorrow at 2 o'clock, and we'll see you there.